even some helicopter engines, 4 T55 Lycoming turbine engines. They have to run Alki Racing alcohol. They have to be shorter than 15 foot in overall length. Other than that, there's probably no specific rule for any one tractor. They can run any final transmission, any final rear end, and any power plant they want. It's a real high horsepower, incredible class. They call them the Unlimited Modifieds. The full field here at the Fords coming up. Will kick off this Unlimited Modified class, the final showdown here on the Copenhagen Skull Pulling Circuit. Hale Woodward out of Marlboro, New Hampshire uses a Banner Brothers chassis and 454 cubic inches of Chevrolet power in the Super Chevy. Again, it's going to be very important during our afternoon session for these Unlimited Modified competitors to find the right spot on the track. Hale Woodward a little bit off of center, and we'll see what the man from New Hampshire can make happen here on a great-looking afternoon here at Ford Recovery. Hale Woodward on the Super Chevy, a little bit of a tough run right there, a little bit of a bounce. 260 feet and 8 inches. Rodla Knox out of Ware, New Hampshire. Right now, Knox, Banner, and Stone are locked in a 4-way run for number 1. I only named 3 people. Well, Dave Banner's got 2 vehicles that he'll run. Rodla Knox has been in the sport for the past couple of years, and they would love to take home a national championship. They've had a season kind of plagued by some blower valve problems and things of that nature, but this Country Girl Unlimited Modified running JP1 Hemi engines tuned by her son Brian, producing close to 9,000 horses. It'll be interesting to watch Rodlin. As soon as she gets the green flag, it will go hammer down. She will not lift. Rodlin Knox cuts back on the throttle as she comes dangerously close to the sideline. Well, for Rodlin Knox, 272 feet and 7 inches right there. Boy, I tell you something, Rodlin, everything looked like it was going great, and this track has been throwing people from sideline to sideline all weekend long. Looks like you had to back out of it.
Yeah, I did. It was going left real hard, and I was on the brake as hard as I could. And I think it's a combination of just, you know, the trackster's got a lot of power, and the track is really hooking up, and it just took us left. So I did the best I could.
We did the best you could, and in the interest of safety, she did the only thing that she could. Being the consummate professional that she is, she backed out of it because she was walking towards that sideline. One incredible woman behind the wheel of the Country Girl Unlimited Modified. Jim Brockman, this guy really needs very little introduction in the world of Unlimited Modified pulling. He has championships in the mini rod division, in the 2-wheel drive division, but does not have one in the Unlimited Modified division. This particular vehicle right here, Keith Black Power, just rumbles. Jim Brockman makes his home out of New Haven, Indiana, and sits behind the wheel of the Kodiak Kendall Unlimited. Jim Brockman going to spot the sled near that far sideline right there. As Rodlin Knox told us, this track takes the horsepower, but it's going to take a whole lot of driving skill to get by 300 feet and the victory here at Ford Recovery. Jim Brockman and the Kendall Kodiak Unlimited right there with a great effort, 297.6 for the man out of New Haven, Indiana.
Yeah, it was a pretty good run for this early in the class. I think the track might dry out a little bit, but the Kendall Kodiak tractor really performed pretty good coming down through there. I think Paul had the motors tuned up right. We got the right gear selection. We give her all she had for this part of the class.
brings out the Bandit, all dressed in black. 19-time Grand National Champion, the winningest competitor in NTPA history in any division. Now, Dave Banner has got the unique opportunity here. He fields not one, but 2 unlimited modifieds. The Bandit, which currently leads in the points. Mr. Chevy, which we'll see in a little bit, still knocking on the door for that second place finish in points. Let's see what can happen here with Dave Banner out of LaFontaine, Indiana. Two, 85 and 6. Well, Dave Banner right now parks the Bandit in second place. And I got to tell you, as we mentioned, he's got 2 opportunities to do it. The Bandit right here, sitting currently in second place, Dave. It looked like the tires kind of shook loose a little bit on the starting line coming out of the hole shot.
Yeah, I might have broke the tire loose a little bit quicker than I wanted to there at the starting line. You know, I tried to run the sideline, and I think we just got to find a good spot down the track. Brockman laid down a good run, you know, but it's not over yet.
Rodlin Knox said it was a tough track. She meant the fact that it was going to throw you around a little bit, take a little bit of horsepower.
Well, I think it is. Yeah, it definitely is. You know, halfway down the track, that's where it threw her off the course, and that's where I kind of did a little shaking too, so we'll just have to try to get a better run.
Dave Banner with his first shot at number 1 right there. He's coming up. The rest of the field also to perform. Let's take a break. We'll be right back right here on Challenge of Power on ESPN.
Where can you find a guide to the best restaurants and bars in Frederick County? Where can you see the most talented local entertainers and musicians? And where can you turn for information on special events and cultural interests? Watch the Frederick area's only televised entertainment guide, Out on the Town, every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. and Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Only on Cable 10, your community source.
I'd like for you now to meet a cross shepherd collie. She is
this
a
all you know about
female.
Cable 10? Then take a closer look. Cable 10 is local public affairs, outstanding citizens, area talent and upcoming entertainment events, local medical and business news, historical and special interest documentaries, coverage of unique and newsworthy events, area sports, and much, much more. The sum of all its parts. Cable 10, your community source.
On the aerosol, with no ozone, there is no end zone.
You thought you'd seen it all? Keep your eyes wide open. The American Sports Awards is back.
And the ESPY goes to...
That's where you come in. See the year's most memorable and outrageous plays on ESPN Sports Center. Then punch in with your vote on who gets an ESPY.
I got mine.
Check into the next Sports Center and check out the ESPY.
Welcome back to a beautiful afternoon in Fort Recovery, Ohio. A little bit of heat and humidity in the air right here. That's not bothering the fans or the competitors at this NTPA event. We've got a full field of talent waiting in the wings. So next up, John Heilman, another one of those unlimited modified competitors that's been at this business for a number of years, running the Rodeck motors. John Heilman, kind of like Jim Brockman, doesn't live too far from here. This is really his backyard to pull it. Rockford, Ohio is probably 25 miles away from Ambassador Park here at Fort Recovery. John Heilman, a 2-wheel drive pilot, in addition to his duties on the Unlimited Modified, also is going to put his big ride right in about the same tracks as Jim Brockman. It looks as if the track is going to take you from left to right. That's as you're facing 300 feet. Let's see if John Heilman can go by our leading distance of 2:97 and 6. That's set by Jim Brockman. $70 feet even for John Heilman, a disappointing run in front of the hometown fans. But I got to tell you, they're still going to follow him, they're still going to support him, and they still have come to watch him run. Bob Jostock out of Lapeer, Michigan. Bob Jostock, a winner in our Enderley class that's held during the same weekend here at Fort Recovery. He's a pro national competitor. That's another level of pulling here on the NTPA trail. So he gives up a little bit, but he's put on another motor and is going to come out and run with the big boys. Now, in afternoon pulling, it'll be interesting to see how this man from Michigan is able to place the Wild Child down our 300-foot track. They all seem to be starting from the same launching pad. Let's see what the Wild Child can do with Bob Jostock behind the wheel. Bob Jostock parks the Wild Child a little bit farther down than I thought. This pro national competitor definitely knowing how to run here at Fort Recovery. Wayne Garrett on board Multi-Chaos. Wayne's been running the Grand National Circuit this year. He stepped up as a pro national champion a year ago. Wayne makes his home out of Eaton, Ohio, and he also makes something that he is very proud of. That's his homemade chassis right here. Competitors in the Unlimited Modified division either make their own chassis or step up to the big window and write a check out to the Banner boys to make a chassis, or to Tim Engler. But Wayne Garrett says, I think I've got the right combination here. It may take a little while to test it and tune it, but I'm going to give it a shot. Wayne Garrett out of Eaton, Ohio calls it Multi-Chaos. Wayne Garrett started to come towards the sideline, backed out, then tried to get back on it again. This is a tough track here at Fort Recovery. Dave Banner's second opportunity right now. The Bandit is in second position. That's not good enough for this guy right here or his brother Ralph. Right now, Jim Brockman leads, and we will see what the man from Indiana can do this time around. You know, they've done so many different things. The Bandit has been leading in points, but Mr. Chevy has had a couple of great hooks in the past couple of weeks to pick up some points and make some trips to victory lane. Let's see what they can do right now. Dave Banner spots the sled. He will probably come from left to right. And we will see if that's going to be the strategy here to get by the man out of New Haven, Indiana. A Hoosier battle right here. Dave Banner against Jim Brockman. Jim Brockman's already played his card. Dave Banner's not going to get it done this time around at Fort Recovery. He gave it a great effort, but it's going to come up short. You talk about unlimited modified pulling. It's run what you brung. Chevrolet, Littlefields right here. Alki Racing Alcohol, Howard's Rods. You put it all together in a package. You put it on top of the Banner frame, and it spells victory more often than not. Dave Banner with the second opportunity there with Mr. Chevy. I tell you something, it's tough. Brockman's out there in front.
Yeah, it is a tough track. You know, Brockman must have laid down a lot better run than anybody figured he did. But, you know, I got all the runs I could get out of him. Boy, it just, they got up, you know, maybe track's a little soft in the spot, but everybody has to go through that spot.
Dave, do you think that the track was better earlier and the afternoon goes on? It may break up a little bit?
You know, I think Brockman's hooking to this track so good he could back in there right now and probably do it again. You know, when you get hooked into a track and you get your setup hooked to a track, you can come in there about any time and do it. So I don't think it's changing that much.
You know, besides being from Indiana, you guys got another thing in common, you and Jim Brockman?
Oh, well, we both like pulling tractors, I guess is the biggest thing.
282 feet and 7 inches, that for Dave Banner. Gardner Stone, who's won a Grand National Championship, knocking on the door. He's coming up. A couple of more guys have got an opportunity to unseat the leader, Jim Brockman. We'll see what happens. We'll be back right after this.
This is the NFL season you saw.
What a catch! Leon Lynch! Oh, my goodness gracious!
But now, Sports Illustrated lets you in on even more.
I didn't like the fullback right away just because that corner
in this exciting new video, NFL Extreme. It's the season you never saw. Free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated.
Wake yourselves up.
Call now to see and hear what you shouldn't.
Keep it a secret.
Did you hear me? If you still got a big hog, get it so you can run.
You'll go from one extreme
I want on the rules committee.
No!
to the other. Free.
Wide open. Touchdown.
You'll also receive SI's spectacular new book, The Year in Pictures, free with your paid subscription. Get 54 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.39 an issue. Save over 52% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card.
Where did they get a load of me?
Call now and get NFL Extreme, the season you never saw, and The Year in Pictures free from Sports Illustrated. There is nothing in the world like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
McSorley, 2 minutes, roughing.
Putting me out of Deuce, and all the primetime players will shine. North Carolina will collide with Duke. It'll be awesome, baby. Don't have ESPN2? Find out from your cable operator when you will. Join me tonight at 9 on ESPN2.
Welcome back to Fort Recovery, Ohio. Now, Gardner Stone's waiting in the wings, but right now, firing up in the staging lanes, a young man from North Collins, Colorado. It is Joe Ader, who's come here to Fort Recovery to run with the big boys. Chevy Thunder. This is the second year he's competed on the Grand National Tour, and Joe Ader is not going to end up in the top 5 this year, but I got to tell you, he is the kind of person that says, I'll go out, I'll try my luck, I'll spend some time learning how to run an unlimited modified. You just don't sit in the seat behind all of those Chevrolet engines and expect to be able to win. He realizes that, and he says that every single time he gets behind the wheel, it is a learning experience. Out of North Collins, New York, Joe Ader. Listen for this guy's name in the future. He's going to be a star in this unique all-American motorsport of truck and tractor pulling. Joe Ader having definitely a problem right there as something came uncoupled. All the horsepower went away. Well, we talked the fact about a lot of young guns come to run here, and Joe, a disappointing situation. Any idea what's happened?
We had a good run going. The track's biting real good here at Fort Recovery. I think we twisted the pinion shaft off going in the rear end. We had an excellent year here with the great sport of NTPA, and it's just the way it goes. Got to break once in a while.
Next up, another Ohioan, Carl Bilski out of Medina, Ohio, with the Genelux Sandman Unlimited. Carl has jumped up to Grand National Pulling this year and has been a consistent top 5 performer. He's got an opportunity to put himself in the NTPA record books with a good pass here at the Fort and put himself solidly in that number 5 position. Let's see what happens with Carl Bilski. They're all chasing the wily Jim Brockman at 297 and 6. Carl Bilski, Medina, Ohio, in the Sandman. Carl Bilski comes off the line and jacks it twice to try to set the tires. It's going to yield him a 253-foot, 3-inch distance. Well, the points race becomes important here as Gardner Stone, the next competitor, is up. Gardner out of Middlebury, Vermont, runs the General Stage 4 T55 Lycomic turbine engines. Gardner has been a former Grand National champion, and he's trailing Dave Banner in the points for the Grand National Championship. Now, all of that becomes secondary as Gardner Stone has got to get by Jim Brockman. Brockman's Kodiak Kendall Unlimited Modified is parked at 290. 297 and 6. The General's going to have to make it all happen.
Thanks, Robert.
Gardner Stone out of Middlebury, Vermont with a General Stage 4, a former Grand National champion, and right now locked in a points battle with Dave Banner. All of that is secondary because in order for any of that to change, someone is going to have to get by Jim Brockman, who's put his Kendall Kodiak Unlimited Modified at 297 and 6, and that distance has stuck. No one's come close. Now the General right here with the turbine-powered vehicle may be able to sneak by them. He's going to have to build a lot of horsepower at the starting line out of these 4 T55 Lycoming turbine engines. These are helicopter engines that are used. They go into a main transfer case and then back to the rear end, and they produce all kinds of horsepower. Gardner Stone lights it up, and he is ready to take off and run. 297 and 6. That's what he's got to shoot for and hope to go by it. Well, it's going to be close, but I don't think he's taking Jim Brockman out of first place. Jim Brockman, no stranger to victory lane here at Fort Recovery. Congratulations on a great victory.
Well, thank you. It is indeed, it is a real thrill to win here at any of the Grand Nationals, but particularly at Fort Recovery, Ohio, because we're close to home and we have a lot of fans that come over to watch us.
You know, Jim, you hooked early in the class. The other competitors said, well, they didn't think the track changed that much. In your estimation, you think it was an advantage to hook early?
It didn't hurt anything. I can't really tell that it was an advantage or not. One thing I did notice that the sled was set up just slightly different than from what we're normally used to seeing. And Dave Hager's got some bars back in the back that are about the size of a milk carton, okay? And he drove those into the ground. Somewhere around 180, 200 feet. They slammed down in the ground and dug trenches about 4 inches deep and really sucked the power out of the tractors. I think a lot of us weren't prepared for that. Fortunately, it just worked out for us.
Dave Banner made the comment, however, he thought that you could probably back to the sled and lay down an equal pass if you were pulling right after him the second time that he pulled.
Well, we would welcome that challenge, of course. And that's good to say from Dave. You know, Dave's a good, strong competitor, and I don't know. You know, it's awful hard to say whether a track changes or not. Certainly, this track didn't change like many of them have in the past.
Congratulations to Jim Brockman on a great win here at Fort Recovery.